Imagine standing in a courtroom. The lawyer looks calm, but inside he's on fire. He needs to convey one thing. His client is innocent. Picture yourself in a court. The attorney seems relaxed, but his heart is burning. He must show only one idea. His client didn't do it. No shouting, no big words. Just a glance, a pause. The jury watches. His eyes say, "Trust me." His tone conveys truth. He doesn't yell or use fancy terms. He just looks around and waits briefly. The jury pays attention. His eyes whisper, "Believe me." The sound of his voice feels honest. "He couldn't have done this," he says softly, not loud but strong. The words convey honesty, like a quiet drumbeat. In a gentle tone, he says, "He isn't responsible." It's soft but powerful. His statement rings true like a calm rhythm in the air. Have you ever needed to convey something without saying much? Maybe telling someone, "I'm sorry," just with a look? Have you ever had to share a feeling with almost no words? Maybe you said you were sorry by just looking at someone? You could say, "I don't need to explain much. My face will convey how sorry I am." You might say, "No need for a long speech. My expression will show how bad I feel." Now imagine an old desk in a dusty attic. Inside, a letter. The paper is old, but the words still burn. Think about a worn-out table in a quiet, musty room. You open it to find a letter. The paper looks ancient, yet the message feels alive. A soldier writes, "I love you. I will return." His words convey hope, even with war around him. Love, strong and clear. A fighter scribbles, "I care about you. I'll come back." Even in the middle of battle, his note carries promise. His love is bold and bright. Years later, a couple finds it. The letter still conveys love. They feel it, even if time has passed. After many years, two people discover this letter. It still holds deep affection. They sense it, no matter how long it's been. Have you ever conveyed love without saying, "I love you"? Maybe a small gift or a long hug. Have you ever shown love without those exact words? Perhaps by giving a simple present or offering a warm embrace. You could say, "This letter conveys more love than 1,000 I love yous." You might say, "This letter shows more care than saying, 'I love you' again and again." The word convey comes from Old Latin conviare, meaning to carry or to bring. That term comes from an ancient Latin root, conviare, which meant to move something or to bring it along. Imagine a traveler in ancient Rome. He carries news from one city to another. He conveys messages on dusty roads. Picture a messenger in old Rome. He brings information from town to town. He walks those dry paths with words in his bag. Later, in English, convey grew, not just carrying things, but also feelings, ideas, or meanings. Over time, this word expanded. It started to include sharing emotions, thoughts, or even deeper signals. Like a bridge that conveys people across a river, words convey emotions across hearts. Think of a bridge helping people go over the water. In the same way, language lets our feelings travel from one heart to another. Convey is close to express, but softer. Express is clear, strong. Convey is gentle, slow, like a whisper. This term is similar to express, but less direct. Express is firm and loud. The other one is softer, calmer, almost like a hush. Think of saying, "I understand," with a smile. That conveys kindness. Saying, "I understand," loudly might feel too sharp. Picture yourself smiling and saying, "I get it." That shows warmth. If you shout, "I understand," you might sound too forceful. Imagine a mother holding her baby's hand. She doesn't speak, but her touch conveys safety. The baby feels loved. See a mom gently holding her child's fingers. She stays quiet, yet her grip says, "You're safe." The baby senses care. You could say, "She didn't say much, but her touch conveyed everything." Someone might remark, "She spoke little, but her gentle hold said it all." Convey helps when you want to show, not just tell. Where have you used it? This idea is useful when you want to hint at something instead of simply stating it. Have you done this before? Maybe in a text. This emoji conveys that I'm joking. Or in a speech. I want to convey my thanks to everyone. It might happen in a message. This emoji shows I'm kidding. Or in a talk. I'd like to offer my gratitude to all of you. Convey lets you share feelings, ideas, even silent messages. Using this approach, you can pass along emotions, thoughts, or quiet signals. So next time you want to show what you feel, think, how can I convey this best? Next time you want people to understand your feelings, ask yourself, how can I get my point across in the best way? What if a painting could talk? You stand in front of it. The eyes seem sad. Imagine a picture that can speak. You face it, noticing how its eyes appear full of sorrow. The artist conveyed deep sorrow without words, just colors, lines, and shadows. The painter expressed strong sadness without saying anything. He used only colors, shapes, and darkness to show how he felt. Have you seen art that made you feel something? Maybe happiness? Maybe pain? Have you looked at a drawing or painting and felt an emotion? It could make you smile or bring you tears. You could say, this painting conveys so much emotion. It's haunting. You might say, this artwork really shows powerful feelings and it stays in my mind. When we convey, we pass feelings or ideas, like telling someone you're happy. When we share, we give our thoughts or moods to another person. It's like saying, I'm feeling good. This painting is like a silent voice. It says, I'm hurting, without sound. This piece of art feels like it's speaking softly. It cries out, I'm in pain, but never makes a noise. Where have you conveyed emotions without speaking? A look, a smile, a tear? When did you show how you felt without words? Maybe through your eyes, a grin, or a quiet sob? Now imagine being in a new country. You don't know the language. Scary, right? Picture yourself visiting a foreign land, not understanding what people say. It can be pretty frightening, don't you think? A student tries to convey his needs. He points, waves, maybe even draws. A learner tries to show what he wants. He uses gestures, moves his arms, or sketches pictures. People laugh not to be mean, but because he's funny without trying. Others giggle, not out of cruelty, but because his attempts are amusing in a sweet way. He might say, I need water, but with hands and faces, not words. He could communicate, I'm thirsty, by motioning with his hands and making expressions instead of talking. Conveying doesn't need perfect words. It's about making others understand you. Sharing your thoughts isn't about fancy sentences. It's about helping people see what you mean. Have you ever conveyed something with just gestures? Maybe ordering food abroad. Have you used only hand signs or body language to explain something? Like asking for a meal in a foreign place. Conveying can be simple, funny, and warm, like smiling when you don't know what to say. Showing your message can be easy, playful, and friendly. For example, giving a big grin when words fail. It connects people, even when words fail. It brings people together, even if we can't speak the same language. Imagine finding an ancient artifact, dusty, old, full of secrets. Think of discovering a very old object. It's covered in dirt and hides many mysteries. An archaeologist studies it. It conveys history, stories of kings, wars, love. A scientist examines it. It shows tales of rulers, battles, and romance from long ago. But it also conveys warnings. Stay away, it seems to whisper. But it also sends a caution. It's as if it softly says, keep your distance. He could say, this artifact conveys a hidden danger. We must be careful. He might explain, this old object hints at a secret risk. We need to watch out. Conveying is not just talking. It's revealing, showing, teaching. Sharing is more than words. It's about uncovering, displaying, and helping others learn. Where have you conveyed knowledge? Maybe explaining a game or a recipe. When did you pass along what you know? Perhaps guiding someone through a game or showing how to cook something? Like this artifact, words can convey both facts and feelings. Just like that old find, talking can share information and emotions at the same time. Each piece of this story shows how we convey, sometimes with art, sometimes with hands. Every part of this tale shows how we express ourselves through paintings or gestures. Sometimes with ancient symbols, always to share, warn, or connect. Other times we use old signs. Our goal is always to communicate, alert, or bring people closer. Imagine this. You open your door, a letter. No sender, no clue. It conveys mystery. Find the key, it says. Picture this scene. You walk into your house and see an envelope on the floor. There's no name on it. It feels unknown and puzzling. Inside, a message reads, "Go get the key." You think, what key? But you follow the trail. Each clue conveys danger. A whisper. Time's running out. You're confused about which key it means. Still, you keep going. Every hint points to risk. A soft voice in your mind says, "Hurry up, you don't have long." Would you keep going? You might say, "I must." It conveys a challenge I can't ignore. Would you continue? Maybe you say, "I have to. This is a big test I cannot walk away from." Like a locked chest, the word convey here means to give or send something. Info, feelings, warnings. Think of a sealed box. Convey in this place is about handing over ideas, emotions, or alerts. Now, think of a song, one simple tune. A young musician sings. Her voice conveys pain and dreams. Picture a single melody. A new artist performs. Her singing shows her sadness and hopes. Overnight, people listen. Her song conveys hope. Strangers cry, "This song understands me." By morning, many have heard it. Her music brings a sense of a better tomorrow. People she doesn't know exclaim, "This track speaks to my heart." She wonders, did my song really convey so much? She thinks, was my music really able to say all that? Music conveys emotions like words never can. You might say, "This melody conveys my feelings perfectly." Sounds can show our feelings more deeply than speech. You might say, "This tune shows exactly how I feel." Picture yourself in a busy market abroad. Colors, smells, sounds. Each stall conveys energy, life. Imagine you're walking through a crowded foreign bazaar. There's so much color, fragrance, and noise. Every stand is full of excitement and vitality. One vendor shows you an old compass. "It's broken," you say. He smiles. "It conveys my journey." A seller holds out a worn-out compass. You say, "It doesn't work." He grins and replies, "It represents my travels." You ask, "How?" He replies, "It guided me home once." You ask, "What do you mean?" He answers, "There was a time it led me back home." Objects can convey stories too. You might say, "This ring conveys my family's history." Things can also hold tales. You might say, "This ring carries the legacy of my relatives." From a clue on paper to feelings in a song to a broken compass, convey connects them all. All these hidden notes, heartfelt music, and an old compass are joined by the idea of passing something along. It means to pass on something, a message, an emotion, a story. It's about sharing words, moods, or a tale with someone else. Like a bridge that conveys people across a river, words convey ideas from mind to mind. Visualize a bridge carrying people across water. In the same way, speech moves thoughts between individuals. Where have you conveyed a feeling without words? When did an object convey meaning to you? When was the last time you showed a feeling without speaking? And when did a thing have a special message for you? Let's start with a quiet monastery, high in the mountains. Monks live there peacefully, no words needed. We begin at a peaceful temple on a tall mountain. The monks stay calm and don't speak. They find peace in silence. They convey wisdom through actions, making tea, sweeping floors, simple smiles. No need to speak. They share their knowledge by doing simple tasks, like making tea or cleaning, and giving gentle smiles. Words aren't required. Imagine walking there feeling calm. You ask, how do they teach without words? Try to picture yourself there feeling peaceful. You wonder, how can they teach if they never talk? You could say they convey lessons through silence. Their peace conveys more than loud lectures. You might think, they show lessons by staying quiet. Their calm presence teaches more than any noisy speech. Convey here means to show, to express. No noise, just calm actions that speak clearly. In this context, it means to share or reveal something. No loud sounds, just gentle deeds that communicate the message. Like when you smile at someone. No words, but your smile conveys kindness. Feel that? Think about giving someone a smile. You don't talk, yet your smile shows warmth. Do you sense it? Now, picture a busy city square. Crowds, noise, movement. But one mime stands still. Try to see a noisy city plaza. People hurry around. Everything is loud. But a mime is motionless in the middle. No voice, but his face conveys sadness, happiness, surprise. You stop, watching closely. He makes no sound, yet his expressions show sorrow, joy, and surprise. You pause to observe. You might think, how can he convey so much with no words? But he does. You might wonder, how can he show so many feelings without speaking? But he manages to do it. You could say, he conveys emotions through movement. His eyes convey more than a long speech. You might say, he expresses his feelings by moving his body. His eyes reveal more than any lengthy talk. This meaning of convey is to share feelings, to show what's inside without words. Here, the idea is about passing on emotions, revealing what's in the heart without speaking aloud. Like when your friend is quiet but you feel their sadness. Their eyes convey their pain. Think of a friend who doesn't speak, but you sense he is unhappy. His eyes show you his hurt. Convey helps us express the unspoken. It's not about talking, but about showing deeply. This way of communication helps us share what we don't say out loud. It goes beyond words, into real expression. Have you ever got a text that made you smile big? One emoji from an old friend. Have you ever received a message that made you grin widely? Maybe just one tiny icon from a longtime buddy. That simple smiley face conveys all your fun memories. No long text, just one sign. That small happy face reminds you of all the good times together. No long message, just one symbol. You might ask, how can one emoji convey so much? But it brings back every laugh. You might wonder, how can a single emoji hold so many feelings? Yet it brings back all your shared laughter. You could say, this emoji conveys our friendship perfectly. It's like a small key to big memories. You might say, this emoji shows our bond so well. It's like a tiny door to many shared moments. Here, convey means to send, to deliver meaning quickly, like a short text that says a lot. In this situation, it means to pass along or carry a message fast, like a brief note that has a big impact. Think about it: the monks, the mime, the emoji. All convey something, but in different ways. Reflect on the monks, the mime, and the emoji. Each one shows or shares something, but in a unique style. Monks convey wisdom with actions. The mime conveys emotions with movements, and a text conveys memories with symbols. The monks pass along knowledge through their deeds, the mime shows his feelings through gestures, and a written message brings back old times through icons. Convey isn't just about words. It's about showing, delivering, sharing feelings or ideas clearly. This kind of expression is more than speaking. It's about giving, sending, and spreading emotions or thoughts in a clear way. Where would you use convey? Maybe when you say, her smile conveys her joy, or this song conveys deep sadness. When might you use this concept? Maybe if you say, her smile shows how happy she is, or this tune carries a heavy sorrow. Convey helps us bring our feelings, thoughts, and stories to others, quietly or loudly, but always clearly. This idea allows us to share our emotions, ideas, and tales with people. We can do it softly or strongly, but always in a clear way. You sit on a train across from a stranger. His eyes meet yours. They're deep, thoughtful. You wonder, what stories do they hold? You are on a train looking at someone you don't know. He locks eyes with you, and his gaze seems full of meaning. You ask yourself, what kind of tales might he have hidden in his life? His eyes convey so much: pain, love, loss. No words, just a gaze. Could you convey so much without speaking? His stare reveals so many emotions: hurt, warmth, sadness. He doesn't speak, just looks. Do you think you could show that many feelings in silence? He finally talks. Life is strange, he says softly. His words convey a long journey, many lessons. At last he speaks. Life is weird, he murmurs gently. His simple phrase hints that he has traveled far and learned a lot. Maybe you say, your eyes convey more than your words. He could reply, eyes never lie. You might comment, your eyes show more than what you're saying. He could answer, eyes always tell the truth. Where have you conveyed feelings without words? A look, a smile? Think of times when silence conveyed everything. When have you shared your emotions without speaking? Maybe a glance or a grin. Remember moments when quiet said it all. Now, imagine a future where you don't need words at all. Thoughts flow straight from your mind to someone else's. Picture a time when talking isn't needed. Ideas slide directly out of your head and into another person's mind. A young scientist tries this tech on his crush. Bad idea. Every embarrassing memory he wanted hidden gets conveyed instantly. A young researcher uses this invention on the girl he likes. Big mistake. All his awkward secrets slip out of his mind in a flash. She laughs, says, wow, you conveyed more than I needed to know. He blushes. Yeah, wish I could unconvey that. She giggles and teases. Whoa, you shared more than I ever wanted. He goes red and mumbles, yeah, I wish I could take that back. This meaning of convey feels more direct, almost too honest. No filters, no lies. Would you want to convey your raw thoughts? This way of passing on ideas is so open, maybe too real. Nothing is hidden, nothing is fake. Would you choose to show your pure mind? Think about secrets you hold. What if they were conveyed by accident? Scary, right? But also real. Realer than words sometimes. Imagine the private things you keep. What if they slipped out on their own? Kind of frightening, huh? Yet it might be more genuine than talking. You find yourself in an old library. It's quiet, smells like paper and time. An ancient book catches your eye. You step inside a dusty library. It's silent, filled with the scent of pages and history. You spot a very old book that interests you. It conveys secrets of the universe, but there's a catch. The knowledge disappears when the book closes. It holds mysteries of the cosmos. But here's the trick. Once you shut the cover, that wisdom fades away. You ask yourself, how do I convey what I learned if it's gone? Maybe you whisper, I must remember. You wonder, how can I pass on what I found if it vanishes? You might quietly say, I have to keep this in my head. Convey here means more than just telling. It's about holding, passing down, keeping alive. Like history, like stories. Here, sharing means bigger things than just speaking. It's about protecting, handing over, and preserving. Like legends or old tales. Have you ever felt the need to convey something important but didn't know how? Have you wanted to express something that really mattered, but had no idea how to get it across? From a stranger's eyes to forgotten knowledge, convey is about more than words. It's about connection, truth, memory. Whether it's through someone's glance or ancient wisdom, passing ideas along goes beyond language. It's about linking people, being real, and remembering. Sometimes we convey with a glance, sometimes with thoughts, sometimes with stories lost to time. Sometimes we show things by looking, sometimes by thinking, and sometimes by telling tales that fade away in history. So, where would you use convey? You could say, "This song conveys my feelings," or "His silence conveyed his anger." When do you talk about this idea? For example, you might say, "This tune shows how I feel," or "His quiet moment showed he was mad." Convey means to carry something from one to another. Feelings, ideas, secrets. It's about moving what's inside you to someone else. To pass something on is to move it from you to someone else. It can be emotions, thoughts, or hidden truths. It's about giving someone a piece of your inner world. Next time you share a thought, ask yourself, what am I really trying to convey? When you let somebody know what's on your mind, think about this. What am I truly trying to get across?